Really, Sony? Are you serious? What's up, guys? It's Riku. Welcome back to another video. And man, today we got some pretty bad or good news. It depends on how you take it, man. For me, this is the worst thing ever to happen to Bloodborne. Now, if you guys didn't know, yesterday at CinemaCon, Sony announced a fucking Bloodborne movie produced by Jacksepticeye. This is the most fan fiction-y shit I can ever imagine. And you know, it's all cool. It's all cool. You know, they can make a movie. I don't really care about movies, man. It's Sony. It's gonna be decent at least in terms of the animation quality if it's animated. So that's cool. But the main thing that frustrates me and makes this a bad thing is that the fact that they are willing to put hundreds of millions of dollars into a movie before they remaster Bloodborne. Just think about that. A Bloodborne remaster will not cost more than 100 million. I'm telling you, probably not even more than $1 million. It's literally just making it 60 FPS and remastering textures. That's it. That's all we really fucking ask for. 60 FPS, higher resolution, better textures. That's it. You don't gotta reinvent the wheel. You don't gotta remake it from the ground up like they did Demon Souls. Nothing like that. Just remake, or not remake, but remaster the game. That's it. And they rather sit on their ass for a decade and then smoke pot in the living room and think, oh yeah, we should make a Bloodborne movie. Like, what? That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Now again, I don't really have any true fundamental problem with them making a Bloodborne movie. Like, the concept is not bad at all. I don't think that's a bad concept. But it's just the thought that they would fund something that costs at least 10 times as much instead of just doing a fucking remaster. But yeah, man, you know, today I just wanted to kind of go throughout this article, see what this shit is talking about, see what Sony actually said at CinemaCon, and see what's going on. I've never heard of CinemaCon. I don't know what that shit is, but I guess it's like a movie announcement convention or some shit. So let's get into it. It says that Sony Pictures announced at CinemaCon on Monday that they are making an R-rated animated feature film based on the video game Bloodborne. While no details on the movie's plot were revealed, it is expected that it will follow a hunter battling beasts in the city of Yharnam. Okay, so like, again, the concept seems clean. Like, they cannot go wrong as long as the animation and like the story is not complete dog shit. This is gonna be a decent movie, a decent watch. There were no announcements on the film's director, screenwriter, voice cast, or release date. So it seems like the only name that we got was big old Jacksepticeye, and that's it. Now, you know, this really does hammer my point home that I feel like they picked Jacksepticeye out of all people because of his big name. Like, I'm pretty sure that he is the biggest YouTuber that talks about Bloodborne compared to anyone else. Now, hey, of course, there are YouTubers that are a lot more knowledgeable about Bloodborne's lore compared to the likes of Jacksepticeye, but he is like, how many subscribers does he have? He has 30 million subscribers. So he is by far the biggest channel that can talk about and has promoted Bloodborne as his favorite game. So, you know, it's like, okay, they're obviously going for the most attention grabbing name that they can get attached to Bloodborne. So, you know, that's cool. But, you know, it's kind of sad that not even the director was announced yet. That's kind of weird. Okay, but let's continue. It says that the Bloodborne movie is produced by PlayStation Productions, Lyrical Animation, and YouTuber and gamer Sean McLaughlin, aka Jacksepticeye. Lyrical Media is co-financing the Bloodborne movie with Sony Pictures. Now again, it is stating that Sony Pictures is literally financing this, which means they have money. They could have put this money into a remaster. How could you, Sony? How? People have been asking for a remaster for a decade. A decade. Crazy, man. Now, I think decade is a bit much. I feel like people really asked for a remaster after the PS5 dropped, but I'm putting that out there just to kind of get that wow factor, you know what I'm saying? It's probably close to like half a decade if we're being realistic, but okay, let's continue. It says that the Bloodborne game was developed by From Software and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. In our Bloodborne review, IGN awarded the action game a 9.1 score, calling it an amazing, exacting, and exhausting pilgrimage through a gorgeous land that imposes the feeling of approaching the bottom of a descent into madness. And then it says here that Bloodborne has made IGN's lists of horror game masterpieces. So, you know, that's kind of cool. I kind of wanted to look into lyrical animation and see what they're about, because, you know, I gotta see who's animating this magnum opus that we call Bloodborne. So let's see what we're looking at here. Lyrical animation. Whoa, okay, so they've already had different projects already in the works, like Death Stranding, Hell Fall With Us. I don't know what this is. I know more about the Death Stranding one, because that was, of course, obviously a bit more popular. But, okay, so that's kind of intriguing. I want to see, I'm pretty sure that they actually dropped a trailer for Death Stranding, so let's see what the fuck we're talking about right here. You know, like, you kind of want to gauge what their capabilities are based off anything that we can get our hands on. So I'm hoping that they are some at least decent animators. Like, hey, I'm not going to be expecting some Pixar, Disney, Into the Spider-Verse level animation shit, but, you know, something decent at least. Let's see what the fuck we're talking about right here. Death Stranding, Mosquito. So this is what they're working on. Whoa, okay. It's kind of cool. Yeah, hold up. If Bloodborne is like this gotta be some fire shit. Hold up, man. Hold up. Like, I imagine that they're gonna be using like a similar art style, probably, unless they're gonna go more like realistic 3D with it. But hey, if they go like a very stylized type of swaggy way like they're doing with this movie, this could be something worthwhile. Death Stranding animation film project. Okay. Yeah, it's almost like a comic book or something. Whoa. Now, I'm not gonna say, like, this is the best animation or, like, best style that they could have gone with, but, you know, it's not bad at all. Like, I think that a Bloodborne movie will definitely do well with this type of art style. But, you know, like, I don't know, like, me as just a consumer of media, like, I'm more of a 2D guy. I love 2D hand-drawn animation. This seems very 3D-ish, which kind of, it limits you on what you can do with the animation and kind of expressing different scenes and actions and stuff, because, you know, you're going to be limited by the 3D space. You know, with like 2D animation, you're given a lot more freedom to do whatever you want and what your mind exactly thinks of compared to 3D, because in 3D animation, it's a lot more limited, even though like there's a lot that you can do with it. Compared to 2D, it's not really touching that shit. So you're gonna be limited by like the engine, or like even just things that you can literally not do in a 3D space that you can only do inside a 2D space. So, you know, it's kind of interesting seeing that they're going this direction with it. I was hoping for a 2D. I'm not gonna cap. 2D shit would have been fire, but you know, 3D, we'll take it. But again, this isn't bad. I would say that the characters kind of blend into the background a bit too much for me. Like it doesn't look vibrant or like eye-catching. Death Stranding, Mosquito. Okay, so these are the guys that are gonna be working on the Bloodborne movie, and you know, I'm not mad at it. But again, the only thing that makes me upset about this entire situation is the fucking fact that they're not funding a remaster. Now, Sony, I beg of you, please prove me wrong. Please tell me that tomorrow we get announcement that there is a remaster in the works or something, a remake or something, man. Something. Before I end this video, I want to see what the average funding for a remaster is, just to see how much money they could have put into this, or like what, I guess like how much money they need to just remaster Bloodborne. How much would they really realistically need? So let's think of any type of remaster. Okay, so saying that remasters are significantly less expensive to develop than remakes. Okay, 2 million, hundreds of thousands to even several million, 10 to 20 million. Okay, 30 to 40 million. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we're actually gonna find out like a distinct price on like any type of remasters that we know about, but it seems like it's not gonna cost more than 100 million. Now let's just look into like any type of movie. This is 100 million to 250 million dollars, and that's average. That's average. So again, they rather put this much money into a movie that nobody was asking for ever in life, rather than a remake or a remaster or anything to kind of bring Bloodborne to modern consoles, make it playable in a very good way. Make the shit look pretty, feel smooth. They couldn't do that for us? Are you serious? No way, man. We gotta wait and see what Sony does with this information, because it's obvious that people are gonna be infuriated hearing this, knowing that they could have funded a remake or a remaster or something, man. So I gotta see what they say about this shit. But yeah, man, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. My name is Riku, and I'm out. Peace.
Riku!